So welcome to the Active Directory security track, to our first talk. Welcome Vincent, who is a contributor to Mimikatz and the author of Pin Castle. And I'm very curious about your talk. It's your stage.
Thank you. So welcome to You Try to Detect Mimikatz. And I have a slide for introduction, so you got the message. But what you need to understand about what I'm going to tell is that I'm part of management. So I'm not a blue team guy, I'm not a red team guy, I'm part of the management. And when you go to the management and you say, okay, Mimikatz still good, you have a problem. So just to explain that I know a little about what I'm doing. So you have Benjamin on the first row, which is the main author of Mimikatz. And I have done some small additions. So I'm happy to have my name here. And I've made some conference with Benjamin, but I'm mainly a management guy doing blood team. So when I was traveling around the world, I feel that I don't know why the exploration of this talk. So I try to hide the vendor name because I don't want to blame a specific vendor. You know, I'm dealing with marketing, I'm dealing with vendor. But if you need a hint, maybe I can mention a tweet that Benjamin has made. But I'm asking why they didn't do it this year. Maybe it's not effective? Oh, I can show you a way to detect Mimikatz. And I have to do a demo because it's not obvious. So, so this is my VM. You saw it, full screen. So you will see I have a very effective way to detect Mimikatz. Oh, sorry, I got a Skype call, so I have to cancel it. Oh, no call. Again. Oh, it's on. It's off. It's on. It's off. But it's only with a French keyboard. So, you know, I'm a French guy. I can type on a French keyboard. So I can do it in a foreign language. So, for example, English. So if you prefer, you have the French flag. So thank you, Benjamin, for adding this trick to detect Mimikatz. It's very effective. So you see the frequency is changing. Okay, I have to stop it and put in the French keyboard, else it will be very difficult for me. Full screen. So I was surprised on the field that everybody knows Mimikatz as a tool which collects only credentials. I mean, password is in clear text. So to the vendors, you have no excuses. MyTree has made a tool based on a framework named Attack. And in this tool, you have an explorer. So you go to the tab, you select Tools, you select Mimikatz, and you see all the attacks the tool can do. So wow! So you can see that it's doing a lot more than the usual credential accounts. But maybe it's too complex. We have to simplify the message. So I've made a word cloud based on the unofficial guide to Mimikatz made by Sean. But it's too complex. So maybe I have to simplify it in 3 different areas. So the first one is the hacking of the security kernel of Windows, called also lsiss.exe. So this is the first function to get the password. You have also a lot of remote ID hacking tools, for example, DCSync, Golden Ticket. And you have also what I'm calling MISC, which is about certificate and so on, but you have many functions, especially the one which are going to be visible. So if you want to stop Mimikatz, you have to stop every technique, because if you let one technique go, you miss it. So during my research, I've looked at the Golden Ticket history, and I wanted to understand why so much vendor missed it. So if you don't know the Golden Ticket, the idea is to collect a secret in the Active Directory, which is the hash of the KRBTGT password. With this secret, you build a credential, and you can impersonate everyone in the domain. So you don't need the hash or the password of the user. You can be like it. So you see it has been presented in Black Hat 2014, and you have the link. So what was the reaction in the security committee? So because I'm in Europe, I know that the CERT EU has made a paper. You know, it's the same date. But the national CERT of France or Germany have made also similar publication. Okay, you can discuss about the time needed to do it, but at least they have done their job. But what I was surprised is about the US. I may have looked in other countries, I didn't. I just wanted to know about the US because it's leading the security it's leading the security most of the time. So I was looking at the US CERT. I didn't find anything. I was looking at the CERT-CC. I didn't find anything. Maybe it's that because the golden ticket, it's not a vulnerability, which needs to be fixed, or no analysis was done, or maybe it was secret. Because I'm a foreigner, I do not have access to this document. So thanks to WikiLeaks, we have more insight. So you see, this is the watch made by the CIA or the NSA. I don't know. It's secret. You know, it's very secret. So what the company has done, he has looked at the main information. So the CERT EU report, the RSA conference slides, and they explain that there is no technical detail. And there was little technical discussion on implementing this attack from beginning to end. It's very strange. But maybe it was RSA, and the main conference was Black Hat. So indeed, when you look at the slides of the RSA conference, there is no details. And you can understand that if everybody is not picking the right information, you miss data, and then you break something. So let's talk a little about management. So you are a CISO of a big company. This is your challenge. You need to detect mimikatz. What are you going to do? So the first idea is to buy an antivirus. Okay, mimikatz is not a virus, but you can say, okay, it's a program. I want to blacklist. I want to do something. So this is an extract of virus total for the first version of mimikatz, the first one. So you can see that there is a lot of detections. You can ask about the misdetection, but we don't argue on that. Let's say that this version is well detected. But what's strange is that when preparing this presentation, I have done a check on my workstation to look for older version of mimikatz, and I was surprised to see that the first version of mimikatz wasn't detected by the antivirus. And I didn't hack it. This is the same version that the one I checked on Virus Total. So I don't want to blame Microsoft because I tested on this computer, it was detected. So maybe I've done some mistake. Or maybe you can explain that if you are looking for millions of programs you want to blacklist, at the moment you have to shorten that list. So for very old version of a malicious program, you don't look at it. So maybe it's an explanation, but I don't want to put a judgment. So if an antivirus do not work to detect mimikatz, maybe we have to do something, start with the basics, and then improve our detection step by step. So the idea is you cannot win the Tour de France. Right? It's time to make some promotion of my country. If you do not know how to ride a bike, you cannot win. So it's the same for mimikatz. So I'm a CISO, so still, what do I do? And I have to do my job. It's not buying a product. So what you do, you pick a framework, and because the framework is not up to date, you complete with a watch. Maybe you attend some conference, you subscribe to some CERT, and you buy a big box. So there are plenty of frameworks. So our national agencies have made this work. So in Germany, you have a paper. In France, you have a paper. In the US, you do not have a paper, but the job has been done. So, okay, pick one. In Germany, pick the German one. But the watch follows the national cert. This is the basic. And if you have to follow only one person on Twitter, only one, pick Sean. Is here and the next speaker, so it will be easy to. And there is so much AD leader to follow. I tried to make a list. That's the great part. You don't have to read it. But it's very difficult because when you want to put names, it adds, and you miss always someone. So thanks to Sean, he maintains a list of people to follow. And don't follow NetPerl. It's not a joke, private joke. So you want a box? Pick one. So I mean, usually what is going on big companies. So you have a report for Gartner, Forrester, and you have a graph which explains, you want to pick the best one? Pick this one. So basically you have to choose between QLR or Splunk, depends on your study. And it's a magical process which will process all events magically, and it will detect mimikatz. We do, Benjamin. It's okay, yeah. But wait, because I was working on the CISO side, I was asking myself, oh, mimikatz, we see it, and we have done this job. Why? So, good points. The frameworks are explicit. I mean, usually when you got a red team, you got a list of problems to fix, and it's like infinite. So at least you can show the progress to the management. Okay, I've done 5%, 10%, etc., etc. The good point is that Twitter is the best source of data I know. So you didn't miss your point. But all the frameworks are based on the assumptions that you have no history. I mean, you buy a brand new domain for Microsoft with all best practice enabled, it's magic. But in practice, you have a Windows 2K in a plant connected with something, you have a printer, and it's very difficult. And especially when you have a company, you have merger, acquisition, sale, and you need to have many domains, you need to have trust. And when you are looking at frameworks, they are not very inventive about trust, what we need to monitor. Also, I was trying to look about all attack and if there was a cert alert, and it was not the case. So this was the case for the golden ticket, which is the main attack. I tried to compare framework to see if they are controlling the same points. It's not the case. So you have a gap in the framework. And what I was surprised is that the basic security problem is not covered. I mean, if you put a file with a password inside it, you have nothing in the framework about that. So it's very difficult to have a job. So SIM, what do you think? You think that the new attacks are automatically covered. I mean, you are paying support. But in practice, you have an increase of 30% of your EPS, event per second, so your bill is increasing. You detect brute force. Okay, brute force. You collect logs. So my question is very simple. Which log do we send to the SIM? So Sean has done some job with it, but if I look at the QRadar or Splunk documentation, it's not very clear. But what is clear is what you don't have. You don't have DC5 detection, you don't have golden ticket detection, and basically you don't detect mimikatz. And if you rely on compliance, good job, because this is the extract of an AD tool which is doing compliance. So you see a lot of framework, you are compliant, you are good. But if you look at the report at the right of the screen, you can see nothing about mimikatz, nothing about the attacks that implement mimikatz. So with full compliance, you must feel secure. So you are a CISO, and I'm not sure if I win or fail, because I've done my job, but it's not effective. Like I said, frameworks, they are structured, so it's good, but you do not have all attacks. The watch covers advanced topics, but you do not have the basic one. The same process logs, but you do not know the right logs and the rule updates. Good job. So, and for the CISO part, I think it's time to get technical and to zoom on specific attack on mimikatz to try to improve our detection. So, as a reminder, you have the evolution of LSISS security posture. So, LSISS, this is a process where you have the passwords. So, with Windows set, mimikatz is a post-compilation tool. It's not a vulnerability, so Benjamin can testify. This statement was made based on the 10 immutable laws of security, which explains that if you are an admin, you are not an admin anymore. So, in Windows 8.1, they have made more protection, and in Windows 10, more and more protection. And we can see on the field many ways to prevent mimikatz. So I've put on the top left an extract for Mr. Robot. And the guy wants to make a pass the ticket. So before doing the pass the ticket, he's doing a privilege debug. So if we are able to block the privilege debug, we can block the attack. It's very simple. Shh. It works as system. And in this command, you don't need privilege debug. So about the status of LSR protection, so I've made a list. I will not go into the details, but what you have to look is that in green, it's very easy to implement, and in orange, it has some impact. So you can see that in many, the first three things is very easy to implement. But for example, for the LSR protection mode, if you are using a third protection component, like for example, smart cards, you need a mini driver. If you have a password filter, you will break things because the vendors, they won't follow the process. And the credential guide, which is the most effective way to block most of the mimikatz way, it requires the Windows 10 Enterprise. So if you have only the professional version, not the Enterprise, you know you are vulnerable. So it's sad. So before my next demo, there is no such place such as lsiss.exe. Why? Because mimikatz, to access the password, it reads the lsiss.exe memory. So at the left, you see you have a genuine way to read the memory. You can inject a DLL, you can copy the memory, and indeed, it requires the debug privilege. So if you can block it, you can block mimikatz. But you have also genuine access to password. I mean, you can put a DLL and in a domain controller or in a computer, and you will see the password in clear text. So this is what Mimili is about. But you have also other way to access the lsiss.exe memory that nobody knows. The first one is the smart card driver. So if you are an admin, you can edit the Kali database and force the loading of a smart card driver in lsiss.exe. You can do it remotely. Or you can play with sub-authentication package. So what you have to understand in this slide is that if you remove the debug privilege, there are also many ways to access lsiss.exe memory. So I think it's time for a demo. I have so much VM. So I'm here. Oops, not the right computer. Oh, it will be difficult for me. Who am I? /all. I'm a user, normal user, with no rights. You do not see admin here. Oh, sorry, not full screen. You see it, or I have to zoom? It's maybe too slow. No, demo effect. I'm sorry. So you can verify you don't see any admin here. It's just a normal user. So, of my technical things. So what I'm going to do is a run as. You see, it's very basic. Ooh. It doesn't want. Demo effect. Oui, mais ça passe pas. Oh, it doesn't want. Sorry, and with the mouse it's very difficult, so I'm just get rid of it. Oh. Demo effect. Error. So new command line. Okay, run as / no profile / users, my user here. CMD. So I'm entering my password, and you will see no magic. I'm a user. See, still user. So what I'm going to do is that 1 fake password, 2 fake password, 3 fake password. So I will log in again. And surprise! Hey, I'm an admin. So I can do it again to show you that you can do a DC sync. And I have to add / net only. Thanks, Benjamin. So oh, I forgot my detector. And you see, this thing is working. So I'm really an admin. But maybe it's too complex for user. I mean, to explain to the management, they need something very simple. So I think it's time to change to a new password. waza12345/admin. waza12345/admin. Up, changing my password. My password has been changed. Log off. waza12345/admin. Who am I? Still the same user, but I'm admin. You can make a lot of fun with a sub-authentication package. Okay, let's get back to the demo. But oh, what you have to understand is that for passwords, LSISS.exe is just a goldmine or a vault. I mean, you have many things here, but it's not the only place where you can find gold. Oh, another demo. So I will show you where we can find credentials not looking at LSISS.exe. So I have a smart card here. This is a smart card. So it's a normal smart card. And I will run a program in admin which will inject a driver into the smart card stack. So if I'm not the right computer, sorry. If I'm trying to read the smart card and ask for the pin, oops, do it. Full screen so you can see something. So you see there is already some messages here. And if I'm tapping the pin, which is a very secure one, what is my pin? So you can see it. And what is cool is that even if you are tapping a wrong pin, so I have a problem with my PKI. If I'm tapping 1, 2, 3, 4, you see, it shows that there was a ping which was wrong. So you can detect ping not using lsiss.exe. But there is also another way. I mean, if you are playing with a challenge response, I forgot I have to run it in different commands line. I have to do it. So imagine that you have put a keylogger, which look for some random garbage, and then I'm typing my password was 1234/admin, which is very secure, and another garbage. You can see that using a challenge response, you are able to guess the current user's password. If you have a keylogger log, you can generate a challenge, you can generate a response using the same users, and then trying in a flow to see if there is the password in this flow. So you see, it can be done without any privileges. So with these techniques, you don't need to hack lsiss.exe, and it's very silent. So it was only with lsiss.exe, but as I explained to you at the beginning, mimikatz is not just about passwords. It's about also advanced attack. So I have to explain what it does because it's very difficult. So here is my mouse. So in the previous chapter, we saw that you can grab credentials. And then with these credentials, you can retrieve the KRBGT password or any other secret. And with that, you can build a golden ticket and you can go wherever you want in a safe because you have the keys. But the attack is not as simple. I mean, in the real life, it's more like that. You have a domain, you open it with mimikatz, then you grab the keys, you open another safe, you grab the keys, you open another one, another one, another one, another one. So I think the root causes is not that simple. What I've looked is that it's not about credential, but it's more about secret management. I mean, you have many secrets in the domain which can take control of the domain. You have the KRBGT password, you have the DC hash, you have trust hash, you have the DP API backup key, you have many secrets. But for each secret, you do not have a process to manage it. So for example, for the DP API key, please tell me a procedure to change it without breaking the domain. It's also about network segregation because if you have a computer which can act as a DC, you get a problem. And it's about having many trust relationships that you do not know. So right now, it's time to show you that the trust is not a strict border. So you will have a big demonstration tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, I just want to show you the basics. So my user has no privileges. So I will run pingcastle, which is my tool. So we see it's very complex, enter. So I will enter a star to scan everything, enter and enter. So you will find all the domain he has access to. It will build an health check report to detect major vulnerability. But the best part is that it will build a map. Demo effect, demo effect, demo effect. No, it's not. Okay. So I've built my map, so this is not the first time I'm demoing it. So you can see this is my lab. So we are in this domain. We can connect to this one. We can connect to this one. But this one, we can't connect. So I can give you an example. If I give fabricam.com, I'm trying to connect. You see, it's not possible. But I will use the fact that there is a trust to be able to enumerate all the users. So this is the map. I'm trying to put at the right side. So it's big. Pingcastle. So I will scan it. I will try to enumerate all the users of a foreign domain. So I want to reach this one. You see, icc.contoso.com. And I will use the latest one I can access, which is this one, .fabricam.com. Up. And you see, I was able to list all the users of this domain using the SID enumeration techniques. But you see, we have a bastion here. I mean, it's time to test it. Scanner, foreign users, bastion.fabri. I will use it.fabricam. Done. So there is a unidirectional trust. And even with this unidirectional trust, I was able to enumerate all the users of the bastion. So this can give you hints when you want to attack it. And I was able to do it without any privileges on this domain. So this is very, you need to ask a lot of questions. So back to my slides. So how do you detect mimikatz? It's still the basic question. I think the first rule is that you have to accept that you can't. There are many attacks which are implemented in other tools than mimikatz. For example, you have also different credential dumping program. You have many implementation of DCSync. If you want to play with Kerberos or DP API, you have many programs, including for SpectreOps. You have my own contribution writing DCSync and document ticket in C#. And you have also the new mimikatz, Kikio. So tomorrow morning. Rule number 2, I think you have to apply the author recommendation because Gentil Kiwi has made some YARA rule, which he maintains, to help you detect mimikatz. For the DCSync detection, he has made also some basic rules using Splunk. So you cannot ignore it. And I think the rule number 3 is to know your scope, because I was so surprised to see many companies that do not know how much AD they have. They do not know the figures. They are not able to list open shares or local admins. And they have still many unpatched computers to the MS17-010. So to help you, I've built Pink Castle. You can get a look at it, ask me questions at the end. And I think this is a tool which can help you raise this thing. So time for conclusion. I think in summary that mimikatz is a brand. So once you understand that, I think you cannot fight an image. You will be like that every time, because each time there is a new functionality, there is a new way to hack you. So this is the message for the management. And for techies, I mean, you can build some strategy to detect mimikatz, but you have to remind that this is an open source project built on many modules, and you can build your own version of mimikatz using only the module you want. So if you try to detect a generic version of mimikatz, you just have to build your own, and you will be able to bypass everything. And maybe you should understand the attack rather than looking for a technical solution. I think that's the end. Thank you.